All right. This section we're going to talk a little bit about maintenance and construction. And we're going to talk about some of the basic maintenance procedures as far as policies and procedures, not actual functional procedures like here's how you change a furnace. That's going to be on your own. Now, I will tell you, one of the things that I gleaned from the property management company that we had started, and like I said, at one point we had gotten into the concept of can't sellers, and at one point we had like 60 people managing their property. One of the things that I found out that will make or break your property management company, and I am sure that this is probably true throughout the entire gamut of property management. What I mean is industrial, office space, doesn't matter. Being able to control the maintenance is what will make or break your company, okay? Listen to me again. What I'm telling you is being able to control the maintenance aspect of your property management company is going to make your company or break your company. One of the things that was traditionally a big issue when we first started out with 2 or 3 companies was tenant would call us and say, got a problem, toilet's clogged. I would say, okay. I would call a toilet company, not a company in the toilet, but a company that deals with toilets. And they would say something to the effect of, okay, I can get over there probably next Wednesday or tomorrow or whatever, because we were just one of the many facets or many people that company was helping. When we got to the point where we brought on our own maintenance man, and we had this guy named Terry, and I called Terry our $20 an hour guy, because virtually that's what Terry was. You know, we billed him out at $20 an hour. He could do about everything, and you guys might call him a handyman. All right. The ability for us to call Terry and go, okay, you need to stop what you're doing there, cleaning gutters, and go over and fix this toilet that's overflowing, and he could be there within an hour or two, was tremendous in saving us a good face with the tenant, in saving money with the client, because weren't upcharging. So, you know, where you'd pay $200 or $300 to have someone come and work on your toilet, if you hired a company, Terry could do it in 3 or 4 hours, so it's only $60 or $80. So the ability to control that maintenance was a big key into our profitability and to sustainability in the company. All right. Now, I'm not saying that you guys are going to be able to do that. Maybe you're going to get to the point where you've only got 4 or 5 houses and you don't have enough business or issues or trouble that you can keep a guy busy. Excuse me. So you may have to seek outside systems or outside support. If that's the case, then you need to create a system to garner that outside support. And that may involve hooking up with another company pre-disaster mode. What I mean by that is, obviously we know we're going to have probably toilet issues or roof leaks or, you know, foundation issues or something like that. What you might want to do is find one of those companies and proactively have a meeting with them and say, hey, look, here's our issue. I'm a property management company. I'm starting out. I've got 8 units. I'm looking to get to 60 units. But here's what I need. I need to be able to call you and get some fairly reasonable reaction time so that I can build my business. Okay? So, you know, you might, like I said, in advance, go ahead and set up some basic maintenance procedures. And to do that, you might seek the help of a foundation guy. Hey, what can we do to make sure that we're not calling you with a burst wall at 2 a.m.? Okay, and he may say, well, you know, every 6 months do this, every 2 months do this. All right, thank you very much. I'll buy you dinner, or I'm going to send some business your way. And you might want to do that could get some basic maintenance procedures established, at least on the onset, seek some outside assistance for that system. Maintenance personnel, I'm telling you right now, maintenance can make or break your company. Being able to control that person and manipulate their hours as to, okay, now you got to go here, then here, then here, or hey, you need to stop that and go over here, do this, and have them at, I hate to say beck and call or control because I don't want it to sound too strict or anything like that, but the reality is that's exactly what you want. You want to be able to allocate your resources of personnel appropriately so that you can say, stop doing that, go do this, okay? So that's a good idea. I can't stress upon that enough for you. Preventative maintenance and maintenance inspections, this kind of goes hand in hand with those procedures that you're going to do. You know, create a plan and follow up a routine inspection with all the major components. And you should do that in certain cycles. For instance, maybe you do furnace changes or furnace filter changes every month. So on the first, second, and third of the month, you're visiting all your units and your maintenance man is changing the filter. On January the 1st and July the 1st, which is the middle and the beginning of the year, you change batteries in the smoke detector. Once again, that gives you a chance to visit. All of these should be written down. I am a very big proponent of procedures. That way I can walk off site and somebody else can pick up and work after me. So you should have procedures on when you do the report, how do you do the report, how do you do that. How do we have the keys checked out? Does Terry carry the keys on his wallet for all the houses, or does he have to come to the office and get the keys? Well, in our particular procedure, we had a checkout board with a key. He would come and get the key and put the key back, sign it in and sign it out. So we have procedures for that. That should be something that you think about. Setting up a cost-efficient maintenance program is also going to be very beneficial in your key to success. Now, what I'm talking about, once again, is standardizing or systematically or systematizing your maintenance. Now, when I say that, I kind of mean your routine or preventative maintenance. Obviously, the repair maintenance, or what we call the, hey, I had to put a fire out, and I don't literally mean fire, hopefully not, anyway. That kind of maintenance you can't really set up a cost-efficient manner, other than prearranging some activities in advance, like I said, by going and talking to somebody and say, hey, if I need you at 2 o'clock in the morning, where do I call? What kind of time can I expect? And I would like a little bit of a discount for us to, you know, bring you all of our 30 properties or whatever. But other than that, setting up a cost-effective maintenance program like routine or preventative is very key. And that's what I was saying. If you had some kind of system where, now when we were doing those 60 units, we had like 20 properties in Shelbyville. One investor went down the tubes. He came to us and said, I need you to manage these. So we managed 20 of them in Shelbyville. It makes a whole bunch of friggin' sense, people, John included, I know, that when we go out to Shelbyville to do something, while we're there, why don't we do all the other 19? All right? So that's what I'm saying. You don't want to just randomly, alphabetically say, okay, we're doing Apple Street, then Berry Street, then Cherry Street, because Apple's in Shelbyville, Berry's in Whiteland, and Cherry's in Lafayette. You might want to say, hey, we're going to do all of our stuff on the 1st and 2nd in Shelbyville. So while we're there, we're going to change batteries, change furnace filters, do inspection of the lawn, seed, weed, filler, and spray for bugs, okay? So that would be a good idea for setting up a maintenance plan. And also, the other thing is, remember that fixing something is almost always cheaper than buying it new. So to continually do that maintenance repair on a scheduled pattern, you know what I'm talking about. One of the things that I have found out when I was younger was forgetting to change your oil in your car is very bad. That's why there is a routine that says every 5,000 miles you change. And if you don't remember, you look at the little window sticker that they put in the window for you to help you remind you. Why do you think they do that? Well, one is because it's obviously cash flow to them, but two is it's always easier on your engine. You know, it's much easier to pay that $30 or $40 oil change than it is to pay a $6,000 new engine. Same concept. $8 or $10 in a furnace filter is going to be cheaper down the road than $1,500 in a new furnace. So setting up a cost-efficient maintenance program can make or break your company. I've told you this several times. What are the keys to a successful management? Anybody? I've said it now 7 times. The key is having control over that personnel. Being able to allocate the resources in such a manner that it's most beneficial to your companies and your client. Not having to wait 2 or 3 days for them to get out to fix a furnace or a pilot light or a filter or a clogged toilet or an overflowing sink or anything like that, okay? New construction is something that a lot of people talk about inside of the maintenance, but realize that new construction usually is something above and beyond a property manager's scope of work. Okay? I could bite off the fact that we may be liable for some maintenance issues, but we are not certainly going to be liable to build the new garage on my client's 2-bedroom, 1-bath bungalow that doesn't have a garage, and now he wants to decide to have a garage, so that's going to be on us. No. Now, what I will bite off on is the fact that it may be our responsibilities to bid the work out and assess the bid with our client and say, okay, yeah, we are going to have a new garage build, and here's what we want it to look like so that we make sure we're getting a quote of an apple from an apple to an apple, and that way all 3 or all 4 quotes are exactly bidding on the same thing. So when it comes to new construction, the largest key, and I think the biggest extent that you guys are going to have to do, is probably help bid that work out. Now, once again, that's residential. There are plenty of property management companies in the commercial world, and I would say when you start dealing in Class A of anything, most of those property management companies have a construction division that do a lot of the tenant build out for the tenant, and they are contracted by the tenant to do that, or the owner may have them do something. So, you know, one of the biggest ones I'm thinking of, I think, well, you know, Duke obviously is a property manager and their own construction company. And I mean, not like Michael Duke down here on the south side. I mean, like the publicly traded Duke Realty. All right. They have their own construction division, but they're just basically a glorified property manager that manages their own property. So that would be an example of, now I don't know if they even manage other people's property, so this whole conversation may be moot. Anybody know? Dave? Do they? Yeah, I didn't think so either. I think all they do is manage their own stuff that they own, so may not be a big issue. But the key to that is, you know, your ability to negotiate the new bid is probably going to be the extent of your limitation. All right, that is the maintenance and construction. Don't forget, you've got preventative maintenance, which is stuff that you do to make sure nothing breaks. You've got routine maintenance, which is the daily activity of stuff. You've got corrective maintenance, which is what you do in case your routine or your preventative didn't work. Routine maintenance would be, remember, we're talking about just more than houses, so like common areas. As you can see out in the hallway here and in the lobby when you came in, we actually have a girl that shows up every Friday that vacuums, does the windows, you know, dusts the wood and cleans all that off. That would be like routine maintenance, stuff they do every day. Preventative maintenance would be like changing the furnace filters to make sure that none of the furnaces go bad because of a clogged filter or a densely clogged filter. And then corrective maintenance would be fixing any of those furnaces that it doesn't work. And then that fourth one is construction, which sometimes gets lumped in there. A lot of times in the commercial world, construction is the tenant's responsibility, hence the word TI or tenant improvement. That's the slang word. And when I moved in here, that wall wasn't there, all right? So I had to build that wall. Now, one of the things I had to do, though, was I had to get it passed by the landlord. So I showed him what we were going to do, explained it to him, told him, the wood, gave him all the description, and lo and behold, still my responsibility, still my cost. All right? All right, if you have any questions, give me an email. For those of you listening online, it's Raymond at MyRealU. Actually, help is going to be get here quicker because that goes to two of us. Help at myrealu.com and anything like that. We're going to talk a little bit about the office and the reports coming up here in just a second.